which is just right over there.
Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast, the weekly podcast about video games with news, reviews, analysis, and opinion. Keeping you up to date on how to wisely spend your money for video games, movies, RPGs, comics, books, and more for over 16 years. Find us online at Gamersledge.com. And now, your hosts.
Hello and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. I am your host, Mark. Joining me this week, we have a cast of comrades assembled from the far reaches of the internet. Let's start out, as we do every week, by introducing everyone that's here. We'll start first with Turo.
Hello, that's me.
And then we have Kate.
Hello.
And we have Matt.
Heidi-ho!
And last but not least, recently off mute, it's Dave.
Hey, I've been here the whole time. What's wrong?
Oh, where's my notes? Here we go. Come on in. Have an order of shrimp tempura with 6 pieces of California roll, soup and salad, 2 gyoza, and a bowl of rice for only $9.95. Sit down, relax. Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. It's a conversation between friends. It's a look at what it means to be a hardcore gamer, discussing the video gaming industry and all things geektastic. We are meeting across Google Hangouts. This is a fan-supported and listener-supported podcast by fans just like you. We give it to you free of charge almost every Wednesday live, Thursday up on YouTube, and at Gamersledge.com. Like us, subscribe to our videos, be a part of the show by accessing the Q&A feature, or write in just like you can to both@Gamersledge.com with questions you have or topics you'd like us to discuss. Let's go around the room and talk about what we've been playing this week and any other topics that we've been covering for the site. Daniel is not here, so he will be here next week, but we will talk a little bit more about the GameStop Expo in just a bit. So we'll start with Matt. I saw some Doctor Who midweek reviews go up.
Yeah, the trial, Daniel and I are still alternating. And we're up through this last week's Doctor Who, so we've got that up, and so we've got up through Time Heist. So I think Daniel's and my thoughts on the season so far have been pretty much in alignment. So I don't know. I don't want to give away too much, otherwise you guys won't go and read them. So
yeah, well, don't give away
As
anything.
if you go read our articles.
Hey, I've commented on articles. Nobody's come back and commented on my comments and responded, so hey. I am a bit behind, though. This is like a mass of content that's just been posted in the last couple of days. So I do have to go read your face-off, though, because I got like 9/10 of the way through the episode and I missed the end. So I don't know who won on the clown challenge, which was pretty well done. I appreciate that show simply because it's not all about people being catty and pain in the butt and stupid. So,
well, it's set in Canada, is it not?
No, it's done in Los Angeles.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah, it's in LA.
Wow, that's amazing.
But you know, they generally got good people on there, and the Jim Henson Creature Shop one. I forget what it was called. Was it called Jim Henson's Creature Shop? Might have been.
Yeah.
Was some very similar format and similar types of people. They don't encourage or craft the storyline like they do in a lot of those shows. So it's really actually about
it's
the
more about
competition.
the art.
Yeah, it's more about them. It's man versus art. It's kind of what it is.
And time deadlines.
Yeah.
And so what else have you been playing, Matt?
Let's see. Anything besides Destiny in the last week? No, don't think so. Destiny.
All right. Well, hold your thoughts on Destiny. We're going to have a discussion topic on Destiny.
Yeah, and then obviously Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Premiered last night.
Yay.
So
how much more could I have loved that premiere? That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh, I can't wait to watch it now.
Dude, I can't believe they put that character in it.
No. The character I could believe. The fact that he wielded his trademark.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was.
Well,
the
that's
thing
Dude, when that scene happened, I was just like...
I was totally
Now-
geeking out.
And
No.
they did such a good job on the special effects, too. That's what I worried about when I first saw it. Because, like,
I
when
have
they first
no
kinda-
clue.
I know.
Yeah,
But
That's why I'm
isn't-
doing it like this, because I'm the
isn't
king
he-
of no spoilers, actually.
Isn't he
Yeah.
actually a Spider-Man villain?
no.
Or did he-
He's the Thor villain, actually.
Yeah, he's actually a Thor villain.
Okay. All right. I know he appears in Spider-Man a lot, but I couldn't remember who
Yeah.
he was originally a villain for.
He's actually he's actually sort of Norse descendancy, sort of.
Loki's
So-
in the new episode?
Yeah.
Whoa! No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Yes.
And
But-
there were a few other guest appearances, priming for the next series that they're
Well,
putting
see,
out.
and I really want to talk about this offline because I believe that was Dozer from The Matrix, but I'm not sure.
Cool.
Ooh, I'd have to go back and look. It might have been.
It really looked like him,
Just
but
IMDb him.
yeah, I was
That's
trying
the
to
easy
figure.
way.
Yeah, no, it's better than me. Okay, yeah. So yes, I
But
agree.
yeah, so and
Agents of
then
S.H.I.E.L.D.
every other show in the universe is premiering either this week or next week, I think, for the
Mhm.
most part. And
My
I
DVR has not gotten this much of a workout in a long time.
yeah, my DVR is screaming because it's like, you still have stuff from last season you haven't watched, and you're filling me with new stuff. So the Gotham premiere I haven't watched yet.
Don't talk about that. That's Kate's thunder.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying what I
Okay.
haven't watched yet. Actually, aside from Doctor Who and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I haven't watched anything from this week yet, so that covers that. Anyway, I buckled. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I buckled. I bought the first of the new Star Wars novels that are in line with the upcoming show Rebels. Which is part of canon, and the book is canon. It's not part of the legends, it's part of the new canon. So, said I wasn't going to do this, and I did it. So I'll have a review of that up whenever I finally get around to reading it, which has got to be before October 3rd, because that's when the movie premieres for the show.
You have like a day countdown on your watch or something.
No, you know what? I had a friend who did that in college. He's like, yeah, I'll be doing that in
Approximately
2
10 years. For
Yeah, I don't know why he did that, and it's one of those traits. You pick up weird things. You spend 4 years with a guy, and that's like one of his ticks I picked up. So it's like any time reference, it could be years, months, days, seconds. I look at my watch for no particular reason.
That's nice. I agree with this.
It's not as effective when you wear your watch on the inside of your wrist.
I've never been able to do that. I tried for a while.
Yeah, but then it looks like you're gonna smack yourself in the
Yeah.
face.
It's the only way I have to.
I was actually a big fan of that myself. I'm really disturbed at how much Toro and I have in common.
Separated at birth?
Yeah,
Make
no,
for a good-
long lost soulmates would be my guess, but
Oh, dear.
nonetheless.
right.
Did you play anything else, Matt?
I do not believe so. If I did, I don't recall what it was.
All right, Kate. I believe you've got some stuff up on the site.
Yeah, I
got.
got my Face Off review up. It was like the most uncomfortable I've ever been watching Face Off because I do not like clowns, like at all. Like when I see a clown, I picture a dirty mattress in the back of a panel van. Like, they
But
gross
you've
me
known
out.
Dave for years.
Nice.
So I was like, kind of like when they were doing their little clown performance, like juggling and stuff at the end of the episode. Everyone on the stage seemed to enjoy it, but I was highly uncomfortable. So I put that up, and I put up a kind of Gotham little blurb. It's not as long as the normal kind of blow by blows I put up, just because it's the first episode, but I really liked it.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
that's what I commented on. Is that I read the whole thing, and you said you would watch it again, but you
Yeah.
didn't say if you actually liked it or disliked it or what the case was, because
No, I did.
you were
Like,
back
I
and
put
forth.
in. Yeah, I put in that comment about them trying to shoehorn a bunch of characters because it was noticeable. But the acting was really, really good. Donal Logg was great as Harvey Bullock.
Yeah. It was. I had no idea he was going to show up as Bullock, and when I saw him, I was like, who the hell's he playing? And then they said his name, and I'm like, oh, nice. That's a
Yeah,
good
no,
choice.
it's like, it's such a good choice. And Jada Pinkett Smith was badass and awesome. And I like the look of the guy they got to play Oswald Cobblepot, like, because he's very, like, the look of him is just really cool, and it's kind of a different take on the Penguin, because usually they do him short and fat, and this guy's, like, very, well, of course you would, but this guy's very aquiline, and, like, they made the broken capillary makeup on his nose to make his nose look even beakier, but he's got that very kind of elongated look to him, because if you look at a penguin, like the way that they stand, there's a kind of a very longness about like the actual bird, right? Even though they're kind of squat, but it just in their colorings and the markings. And although it was a shoehorn of a character, I love the guy that's playing Edward Nygma, and he was so cute, like adorable. It was just so cute. It's like, oh, Edward Nygma, CSI. That's the new spinoff of CSI. But no, I thought the casting was excellent. I did, like, of course, the whole Bruce Wayne is going to be front and center of anything Batman that's starting out. But seem to be playing it like a trickle, like, or a drop in the pond that's starting much bigger waves into what's happening in the city of Gotham. Because I kind of see this going as a procedural, like a cop show that just happens to take place in Gotham, and there's some, like, you know, Gotham madness that happens that wouldn't happen on a normal police show. But Gotham's always kind of been very cesspool-y, so, I mean, there's no lack of, words are failing me right now. There's no lack of content that they could go just, you know, because Gotham's always kind of been the underbelly side of New York, while Metropolis has always been like the American dream side of New York. So there's lots that they can play with there. So I'm definitely looking forward to next week. A show I didn't review but loved was Forever. It was kind of on before Gotham on the channel that I was watching it on, the Canadian feed, and it was great. It had the guy who played Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four movies, who I thought was actually an okay casting choice. The movie was crap, but that's beside the point. But he's a medical examiner who can't die, and, like, he keeps dying in the show and just disappears and wakes up in water. And it was really, really good. So I definitely tune into that again.
I have the first 2 episodes of that on my DVR too.
It's excellent. I really, really liked it. What else did I put up? Oh, the new Sailor Moon episode was on Saturday.
Just watched that right before the show.
Little dip in animation quality from last week. It wasn't as good, and the direction choice was weird, of like odd stills of people's like hands and wrists and chins. It's like, it was, you could tell it was like they blew their budget in the first half of the episode. But
it's the last 2 episodes of Evangelion all over again.
But there was a lot of good story content. Like, it was a very dense episode in terms of Sailor Moon mythos. So it was really good in that sense. But it was like, oh, it's just...
Is Sailor Moon the one with the tuxedo mask?
Yes.
Okay.
The episode focused on him.
The end took me by surprise. I didn't think they would do that, but they did.
That's in the manga.
Yeah, I guess, but
It's like frame for frame the manga.
That just totally took me by surprise.
Yeah, because this is definitely not the anime that everyone's used to. Like, the story and the characters are completely different too. Like, I mean, Usagi's still a goof, but she's a realistic goof, as opposed to just how...
I might actually have to watch this, damn it.
Although,
it's good.
I have to be careful how loud I have my sound system turned up, because her... Dear Lord, that girl that was the voice for her must be like a mezzo-soprano, because that...
It's the same voice from the 90s. It's the same voice from the 90s anime, actually.
Is it? Jeez.
Brought her back, yeah.
Squeaky, squeaky, squeak, squeak.
I find that with most Japanese female voice acting, unless it's like supposed to be an older woman, because I find them all very high pitched. So I'm kind of used to it. But
wait a minute, are you telling me that this is not dubbed? It's actually subbed.
It's subtitled, yeah.
It's airing the same day it airs in Japan.
Okay, now I am gonna have to watch it. Damn it.
Yeah. You can get the first 6. They're all on Hulu or Crunchyroll, but it's definitely not the 90s anime at all. Like, I mean, the character names are the same, and the first couple episodes are the same, because in the old anime they stuck very closely to the manga that way. But once you start seeing Rei, the characters are completely different. They're a lot more competent as soldiers, and they're not boy crazy at all, and Usagi is even a lot more competent, and it's just kind of like, in this episode, at the end of it, you see her being like a badass MFer, and it's just like, it's cool to see that she's actually, it doesn't take until Sailor Moon, Sailor Stars for her to be, you know, good at what she does. Like 200 episodes in, she's finally learning what to do, what she has to do. But no, it's aside from the animation inconsistency, the storyline, and it's all excellent, and the transformations are great, and the girls are way more badass.
And they teased Artemis.
And did you get to play anything else this week?
I played Destiny.
Fantastic.
But I played it on PS3, so I can't join your...
We'll talk about that in just a couple minutes when we get to our Destiny discussion. Because I look forward to hearing about the PS3 version. Dave!
Yes.
You are in a place of gaming.
I am. Now, as of today, I will consider it fully armed and operational.
Did you get to play anything since last we saw you?
No. All right. Like maybe, what was it? What was the count?
It was 22.7 minutes of Destiny.
They were glorious minutes.
Wait, you mean that wasn't the 22.7 hours it took to friggin' load the thing on my PS3? That was brutal! I turned it on Tuesday afternoon, it's like, because I actually didn't start playing it till yesterday. And I was just kind of like, okay, I'll play it now, because you guys kind of put me off of it with the talk last week. I was like, oh, it sounds like hacks. But then I like played it, and I had to download something, and then download something else, and it was just like 1,500 hours later, oh, I guess I can play the game now. I don't know if you guys had the same problem or not.
A little bit.
It was horrible.
So, Dave, did you get to see or do anything fun within the last week?
Actually, yeah, because today I actually had to work from home, and at the same time, the TV stand finally got delivered. So, like, now I can actually feel okay, you know, playing on the new TV, because otherwise it was on the floor, and I was always, like, worried, you know, I don't know, I'm stupid like that. But, so everything's set up, and I was able to catch up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and this new cop show, Gotham. That was pretty good. No?
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome. No, I got it.
Like a fart in an elevator.
Gotham, nice.
But the, yeah, so I really enjoyed that. It looked, you know, everything looked great. You know, I love this TV. I love the setup. It's great. It's, you know, I'm finally able to, like, settle in and actually do some stuff now. So
would you kind of agree with me on Gotham, or did you have a different take on it?
My take on it, it definitely seemed like they were trying to shove a lot of characters in. Some were a little forced. Ivy was so
Ugh, that was brutal, because that's not even a real name!
Yeah. And I was just like, like, really? Everything else I was pretty fine with as far as the character goes. Do we think the stand-up comic was the Joker?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll go there or not. I hope not.
I mean, because they can.
They will give us more, so like people can go, oh, it's, you know, blah blah blah.
There's
character.
precedent. The whole Red Hood storyline was he was a failed comedian.
Yeah.
You know. So.
I think Well, it's like his backstory has changed so many times, though.
Exactly.
So
it's
really,
like they can really do whatever they want. But I was just kind of curious if that was like, you know, or was that like, I think that may have been just like a throw-in to go like, was that supposed to be, you know, like one of those.
I liked his reaction though on stage.
Yeah.
When he was like, she was being all badass, and he's just like,
no spoilers, no spoilers.
That's not a spoiler.
That's spoilers.
Jada Pinkett Smith is a badass. That's not a spoiler.
That's not a spoiler. That is not. A spoiler.
But yeah,
it's a given.
I thought the actors did a great job. I love the guy that got playing Gordon. Like we talked about, what's his face? I keep forgetting the guy's name.
Donald Lugg.
Yeah, him playing Bullock is just perfect. So yeah, they're doing a great job. I think they're off to a solid start, and yeah, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I mean.
Oh, also Sean Pertwee is Alfred, I mean.
Yeah, they're taking a different take on Alfred.
It's a bit saltier.
Yeah, he's definitely, you know, playing up the military background.
Which
Yeah,
they
he's
did
a-
in the last animated episode
Yeah.
series, Beware the Batman 2. And just side note, son of Doctor Number 3, John Pertwee.
That is true. Dr. Pennyworth.
Not everything revolves around the Doctor.
Yes, it
So,
does.
Dave, anything else that you played or watched this week that you wanted to share?
No.
All right, Turo.
Hello. Destiny. Oh, and still getting to, on mobile gaming, freaking Five Nights at Freddy's. I got to day 2. Or night 2.
Well, it sounds like you only have 3 more to go, though.
It's so scary. TV, haven't caught up on anything. Watching a new anime called GrandCon. Heard good things about it so far. I've 5 episodes in. That's awesome. And that's it. Destiny's been the main thing right now.
All right, then.
Yep.
Let's see. I actually went to GrandCon this last week, so we've got footage that'll be going up, including an interview with...
Really? The old people thing?
No, GrandCon is actually Grand Rapids Con.
Oh. There's a D at the end. I'm sorry.
Yeah, GrandCon, yeah.
God, that was totally different in my head there.
Yeah, very, very different. So, nonetheless,
It's called the Denny's.
we've got a couple interviews that'll be going up there, a couple legendary comic book artists that I got to interview.
Oh, like Leafield?
Actually, not Leafield, or Liefield even. But actually a couple of them, one of them being Pop Man, and I suppose this is as good a time as any to announce them. We're actually doing a contest, and we're going to give away 2 signed Pop Man. It's a Spider-Man and a Wolverine from Pop Man, and they're signed and also detailed. We did an interview with him, and he very much
really
enjoyed
loves
the
that
interview.
arm vein.
What's that?
Says he really loves that arm vein.
Yeah, and
Jeez.
so anyways, he donated those to the site. We're going to give those away. I'll talk about the details of that at the end of the show. And let's see, what else did I want to cover? I played a little Spelunky. I was on a plane at the beginning of last week.
That game, I had to cut it off. I couldn't.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it.
It's great.
I didn't get super far into it, but I enjoyed what I did play of it.
Wait, what's that one based off of?
Oh, it was an old school Spelunky, but I don't know if it was called. I think
there was an old game called Spelunker, but there was also one called Boulder Dash.
Neither. I don't
It's
think.
none of those?
No, I don't think so. This is its own thing.
Yeah.
I played some more Marvel Puzzle Quest. I actually, at GrandCon, I had spent all day filming on Saturday and talking to people and getting cosplay shots, and we'll have a cosplay video that goes up as well. But I was invited to sit down and play a game called Murder Hobos.
Ooh.
It is not like, my instant thought was, okay, bum fights. No, it's actually...
Hobo with a shotgun.
Yeah, no, it's not even that. It's everybody is a murder hobo, and the whole point of the game is to kill things, including possibly even your other party members, and get their gold. And the person with the most gold wins if they can stay alive.
Okay, it does pull from Spelunker, the old game Spelunker.
Spelunky, what?
There was a very old game, like on the Commodore 64 era, called Spelunker, done by Broderbund back in the day,
Yeah.
and that is part of the lineage of Spelunker.
Wow.
Okay.
Sorry, I knew that had to be right. Sorry, I had to look it up right away.
They just had to change the name for stuff.
No, it's like only partial, but like part of like the visual style of it is kind of from that.
Cool.
So anyways, this is a game that I would like to play with you guys because it's free, and I think it will be a lot of... I don't think I've laughed so hard in quite a long time. So it's free, and you can find it on drivethrurpg.com. It's called Murder Hobos. So
Wait, how is it free? Like what kind of
free.
model are they using?
Free PDF. They're just trying to get their game out there. And the rules are literally 2 pages. It is not... it does not take a huge amount of time of preparation or learning the rules. It's pretty straightforward, and it's quite amusing. And since I know Kate likes to swear like a sailor, it's right up her alley because
Yes.
that's encouraged.
And it has bindles.
So, yes. That was one of the other things I did that was quite amusing. I also played a game based on a map that everybody makes together. It was a little weird. It was fun. It was just a little slow. And then other things that I did, I, of course, not only played Destiny, but I was one of the first ones to complete the Queen's Wrath bounties that went up early Tuesday morning. And we did a quick video of how to make money basically and profit from that, and I put it up on the site. So that's live now. It's not quite got a... It's on the YouTube site. I will be doing a post to put up here shortly tonight after the podcast. Then we also had a couple other features go up as well. The first is a first look at Costume Quest 2. We did an interview with the developers, as well as probably, I'd say, 10 minutes of over-the-shoulder gameplay footage. They did not allow us to do direct feed, but they did allow us to capture over-the-shoulder, and it actually came through very clear. So you definitely should check that out. And then we also put up a first look interview with the lead developer of Middle-earth: Shadows of Mordor.
Hey.
And that's very interesting. And I believe tonight we have our Guilty Gear XRD first look going up as well. And from everything that I am seeing, this is a game that I will definitely be purchasing come November when it comes out. So that should be up, so look for that tonight on the site. Is there anything else that I wanted to talk about that I did before we jump into... Oh, yes. So we're going to do a little discussion on Destiny, but before we do, I'm going to let you know that we are doing yet a second giveaway. We're announcing 2 giveaways at one time. We're giving away a digital copy of Destiny for the PlayStation 4.
Ooh, I need one of those.
I will give the details. You are excluded, sir. No toot monkeys allowed. I will actually talk about how we're going to do those events at the end of the podcast. But just to start this off, I wanted to let everybody know we are giving away a digital copy of Destiny. Many thanks to Yakamoto Joe, who donated that to the show. And so, actually the person I want to start with is Kate. Because, Kate, you have an experience that none of the rest of us have. Katuro's got it on Xbox One, and the rest of us have it on PS4. I'd like to hear your thoughts on Destiny for the PS3.
Well, it is a completely different experience. You get to go underground instead of in outer space, and you're always on fire because it's so hot down there, and you have to dig your own tunnels and discover new chud people living under the ground. That's your Destiny in PS3. I assume it looks almost identical. Like,
how does it look for you? I mean, does it seem
great? I mean, the skyscapes are gorgeous. I mean, I'm not one of those people who notices, like, if a frame rate drops, like, right, it's just like, oh, in the last 10 minutes, a frame rate dropped half a second in that one, like, blink of an eye kind of thing. Like, I don't.
Well, that really only happens in cutscenes, and there's only like 3 cutscenes in the entire game. So.
Yeah, I saw one already, and I kind of. The one thing I'm disappointed in is the grimoires are on their website instead of in the freaking game. It's like I had to download everything, and it took like 5 hours, and you still couldn't give me like an encyclopedia in the game. It's so lame because that's where all the information is. Like, I spent time looking up on and I was like, oh, that's what the Fallen are. They sound pretty cool. It's like, why couldn't I have seen that stuff in the game? And I kind of wish there was more places where I could see my character because she is smoking. I made her like this super hot silver fox older woman. I wish I could see her face more often. But no, the skyscapes are just gorgeous, and I have had some issues with the server kicking me off. Like, I was in the middle of a public raid, like the Fallen Walker on Earth, because I'm still in Old Russia. Like, I have the moon unlocked. I think I'm like at level 6. that's only playing it like for like 4 or 5 hours because I was like, oh, I'll just go do some bounties and level up, and then the little when you're on Earth, those little like beacons, it's like, oh, they just keep popping up. I guess I'll go do another one, and then I was in the middle of something. It's like, oh, I just got kicked off, and that happened a few times, so it was a little annoying, but I'm having fun with it, and I guess that's saying something because I don't like first-person shooters for the most part. Like, I hate Battlefield, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. They're so like Killzone. Like, I don't like any of those because it's all the same game, and it's a game I don't like. But, so for me to like a first-person shooter, it's got to be kind of something special. Like, the only other one I would say I avidly like is the BioShock series. So I do like this one, and I find it pretty user-friendly to play, because sometimes with first-person shooters I get a bit, like, discombobulated. So in that sense, it's good, and it's just pretty to look at too. Like, the skyscapes, like I said, are just gorgeous. And I have noticed how you guys were talking about the smallness of the environments, and it's probably a little quieter on my end because, you know, like when you go to the tower, there's people hanging out, or when you go to like one of the locations, it will say like, you know, blah blah is nearby, and if they join in on the public events or whatever, it's really kind of dead unless it's just the time of day I'm playing it at. But I bet there's a lot more traffic on the next gen consoles for that. So, but other than that, I'm having fun with it.
So Turo, what level are you at now?
I'm almost to the 21. I just got light armor, and we did a bunch of strike missions today, so that went up. I'm about halfway to get to 21. And that was just 2 strike missions with light armor, and I just got some more light stuff. Yeah, I got a helmet and I got gauntlets now instead of just feet pieces.
And Matt, you're right about the same, right? You're just approaching 21 now.
I'm not sure how this works at this point. I don't have any light anything yet.
Oh, well, then you're not approaching anything
okay.
other than level 20.
But for some reason, my experience bar is growing. So
Is it yellow?
yeah.
Then you
Yellow.
must have
Okay, so you have
must have
something.
at least one piece of light armor.
You just don't know.
That could very well be. I guess I thought it would be really obvious. Apparently, it isn't.
Oh no, it's like right under discipline and strength, and then just
All right. Well, since I have my phone with me, I can go look.
Yeah, there
go
you go.
do that.
Since
So
the phone models now actually look like your character, whereas before they were just a silhouette. The last update they did, they now actually have the gear that your character is wearing.
Oh, it's
That's always
like
what
that for me.
it's always been for me, like that.
Yeah.
Well, but it hasn't had the colors. It was like a silhouette.
Now mine's
No.
been the real deal
Color
the
and
whole
everything.
time.
Well, considering they just included that in the last patch. Oh, iOS, I suppose.
Yep, iOS. We have a good phone. Anyways, Dave. I haven't gone to Dave because I know he's done all of 20.
Well, I just wanted to mention one more thing. I'm playing as a Titan human female. And I just kind of wondered, are you guys all humans, or are you different? Like, because I kind of considered going the robot route, but
I'm awoken.
Yeah, I'm
Exo.
and I'm an awoken Trent Reznor.
Nice.
so like, are you guys? What classes did you guys choose?
Warlock.
Hunter.
Hunter.
I'm just wondering how they play. Like, Titan is pretty. I can punch things out in one kill, so that's kind of fun.
So you actually have 2. You haven't gotten far enough yet, but you have
2 classes.
Yeah, you have 2 classes.
Yeah,
and-
there's the defender and the striker.
Right.
I'm definitely striker. Like, because I'm kind of kamikaze when I'm in first-person shooter games, so I'll just run into the thick of dregs and just start punching things. And like, if I die, I'll respawn. Whatever.
Yeah. I actually play for PvE. I play with the golden gun. When I'm playing PvP, I actually have a blade attack. That's
Blade Dancer. Gosh,
Yeah,
that thing
that
is so beastly.
It is very beastly, and
Ah.
it scores me many points in PvP. So that's very good. And then Matt, what are Turo? Have you started subclassing at all?
I almost maxed out my.
You want to talk about the 2 different? Warlock, or you're a hunter also.
Hunter,
Sorry,
yeah.
Matt. Have you started subclassing at all?
I did. I started the Sunslinger. I
What are
just
the two different types that you have?
I'm not terribly far in the Sunslinger. I just got my super charge. So, and I don't think I ever got to use it. I think I got it and then I quit. But it's basically warlocks. If you don't know, basically use the Force for all intents and purposes. They manipulate light or the absence thereof. So you start out as a Dark Walker, which is kind of all these void gravity powers, and then when you get to 15 and you can split class, you get access to Sunslinger, which is more continuous damage, AoE, burn, solar attack kind of stuff. It hasn't gotten to the point where I've gotten a great feeling for which is which, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is using Sunslinger for PvP once I get it leveled up a little bit more, and using Voidwalker with PvE, just because my Void Bomb now can basically just gravity almost anything in place, so if I'm soloing, it can just hold a group of enemies in place while I blast them with something else.
Woman. Inside voice.
She died.
Yes, she did.
She did die daily. But I think for PvE, the continuous damage stuff from the Sunslinger is going to be more advantageous. But the Void Bomb or Nova Bomb or whatever the heck it's called is just ridiculously good once you get it maxed out. But.
So just FYI, the interesting thing about Sunslinger is it's the only character type that can revive itself from being...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm nowhere near that point yet. But yeah, you can revive yourself.
So it's actually good for both PvP and PvE. And plus you can throw many more grenades. And it's pretty kick-ass. I think it's possibly the most overpowered class that there is. So now that everyone, other than Dave, has had a chance to kind of dip their toes in the water, what are your overall thoughts of Destiny so far? We know the hype machine that it was portrayed to be before launch. Now that you've dipped your feet into the waters and some of you are actually gotten to what is now considered the end game. And just for clarification, I should say that I am level 28 and I have all legendaries and exotic armor and weapons, and I have run the raid that everybody's just now getting to. And I'm curious to see what you guys' thoughts are.
Starting where?
Oh, let's start with Turo and we'll work our way down.
Like how awesome it is, or just everything around it, and
good, bad, indifferent, everything.
The good. Just overall, I'm having a blast. I'm having fun finding friends on there, making new friends on there, and finding out different weapons and finding out different exotic weapons that they have that other people don't. It's just really neat seeing the whole variety of things, and that's awesome. And how everyone comes in as a group. When you're running around, either on patrol or on other missions, it's really nice whenever there's a public event happening and you see all these people come together just to, defeat this one bad guy or defend this one thing. And then when it's over, it's just nice. You could join up with other people, or you can admire their weapons by just going into the menus real quick and just be like, what gun was that? You can actually go into the menu and find out exactly, just as long as you remember the name, you can check out the weapon. That's really neat. The bad, I don't like how there's bounties for stuff that you can't do right now. Sometimes some of the bounties that they release, nobody can do right now. And I just figured they gotta, handle that. They knew what kind of bounties they could throw out there because it refreshes every day. And
a really good example of that is right now the third set of bounties called the Queen's Wrath bounties. One of the bounties that popped up today. So this event has only been available yesterday. There were a maximum of 5 bounties for a total of 500 points for influence that you could get in the Queen's faction. You need at least 1,500 to get to level 1 of the Queen's influence. One of the bounties that popped up today was complete 3 PvP matches wearing all of the Queen's shaders and class-specific stuff, etc. No one could physically have done that.
That's
by today.
impossible. That's
Yeah.
impossible. And I figured they would get on that. They would know what kind of bounties they can release. And it's like they made this set list and they would look into it or they would modify it as it goes through, and they kind of forgot about it. And they just let it go through and no one's going to get it. And it's just annoying because that could be another thing that we could all be getting as far as this awesome special occasion or special event of the Queen's Wrath. And yet it's just going to be sitting there looking ugly, like doing nothing. So that bugs me. Everything else I'm just having a blast with. I really am.
Good. Kate, we'll go to you.
Well, it's not the reinvention of the wheel, like a lot of things where it's like, the commercials are like, 10 million awards, best game of all time. It isn't. I'm having fun with it though, but like I said, first-person shooters aren't my heart and soul genre. But like everything's really pretty, but everything is really small. Like, you can only go to old Russia on Earth. Like, seriously? Like, there should... Obviously, they might put in another map for Earth or another planet at some point in DLC, but I don't know. It's just, I'm only level 6 and I'm already like, oh, I've seen this place. Like, I was like, oh, this stairwell again. It's like, how am I going to feel at level 20? No, other than that, it's pretty fun. The bad is the encyclopedia or the grimoire not being in-game. You have to go to their website to look at it, and that's...
Or your cell phone.
I know, but it's still just, it should be in the game. Like, there is really... It's almost reminds me of back... Remember when Final Fantasy IX came out and they put in the strategy guide all those, you want to know how to beat this boss? Go to this link kind of thing. It's like... It reminds me of that. It's like it should just be in game. That's my biggest.
That's exactly what it is. They want you on their website and they want you to download their app.
They want traffic. Those jerks.
It just takes away from the experience because, like you guys said last week, it's like you've been dead. You don't know what the hell's going on. It's like you're essentially like Steve Rogers writing down like pop culture references. It's like I don't know what's like any of this stuff. You need that grimoire because like. How else are you going to care about fighting these enemies, like, in terms of, like, a story standpoint? But I guess it doesn't really matter, because I doubt the story is, like, super kind of important to the game sort of thing. I haven't really done any co-play yet. Like, I've gotten a couple invites, but I think that's more just because I'm a girl, and they usually just invite me because they want to, like, talk to a girl. But I'm kind of not looking forward to doing co-op, to be honest, because I don't like playing with other people. Like, I like just kind of going off and doing my own thing. So raids, I'm kind of like, it's something I've got to do. And all the trophies are multiplayer kind of stuff. It's like, I wish there had been some other, like, different trophy choices, but, I mean, I'm focusing a lot on the negative, but I am having fun playing it.
Matt? How about you?
Well, I am not a shooter nor an MMO player, and I am playing a game that is in some ways both and in some ways neither. It's interesting. I know there are things that I just kind of probably go over my head because I'm not thinking about the MMO aspect of it. But obviously, I guess I made level 20. I did. My helmet and my gloves do have light on them. I had no idea. So that's why my level 21 is getting 20 is going toward 21. I have fun when I'm doing the story missions or in the first couple missions of a new place. I get annoyed by the fact that I start every single mission in the same thing, and for the most part, take the exact same path, except, oh, I turn this way now, or, oh, hey, this thing that was darked out and I couldn't get into, now it's open and I can go down there. That gets a little annoying. I guess that the size thing does kind of get to me. I think Mars is the only place that probably still has some places I haven't been to, or I haven't been to 1,000 times, because the guy I ran Mars with, we ran Mars really fast. I mean, we just barreled through Mars. So I was doing some Mars patrols last night, and Mars is actually a fairly good-sized map, because it took me a while to get one of those patrol missions done, just because I had to go from one end of the stinking map clean to the other end just to do it. But I enjoy playing. I'm not the type to just pick up with random people or hop into a random fire team or whatever, so I've only really played with the folks from here, and an acquaintance of mine from around this area. Three of us banded up together and helped get one of them was still lower level, so we ran him through some of the earlier stuff. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the shooting mechanic. I think as a shooter it's good as far as the mechanics. As far as solo play, the enemies are kind of stupid.
That's what's fun about them, though.
Yeah, I mean they're not difficult to do. I mean they're kind of dumb. But then some of them are just brutes, right? I mean some of them are they're just bullet sponges. So you're just
and the funny thing is that you kind of get. I found myself kind of getting lulled into like, it's just a bunch of low-level dregs. It's like I could just go punch, and then all of a sudden it's like 3 a night. I'm level like 4, and there's like a level 9 knight surrounded by all these level 1 guys. It's like, oh, I'm dead. Like, what the hell happened?
There are some interesting inconsistencies like that. When the mission where you have to go to the beginning, very early in the game, you have to go to the ships and investigate the transmissions, right?
Yeah.
The beached ships. There's like you're like level 4 or 5 when you do that, and there's like level 11 to 15 enemies randomly wandering around that area. And they will take you down in like one hit.
Oh yeah.
Just like.
Oh, I found that out.
But
I like the dumbness though, because like you're kind of saying everything I feel, because I'm not a shooter or an MMO person either, and I will readily admit that if there is an easy mode, I will play on it, because as I've gotten older and with the amount of antidepressants and sleeping pills I have to take, my reflexes are not what they used to be.
So I think that it's good. I've enjoyed teaming up with people. I teamed up with Mark and my friend from around here, Rick. We took down my first. What was that? Was that a daily?
Yes.
That we did last night.
Yes.
Or not last night before. So I did my first daily. And it was an existing mission. It's a mission I've already played, but it was harder because it was the daily challenge, and it had certain restrictions on it. So as this thing goes on, they're going to get more content. They're going to add more planets. They're probably going to add more areas to the planets we already have. There are several things that feel unfinished. Like it seems to me like the ships at some point are going to be a bigger deal, and the sparrows at some point are going to be a bigger deal. I'm fully expecting there's going to be sparrow races at some point. I'm fully expecting there's going to be some sort of ship-based either combat or strategy game or something that you're going to have at some point. It feels like they had a very, very, very high goal, and at some point either to if the cynic in me wants to say it's to artificially draw out the game's life cycle, the realist in me wants to say it's just because they tried to bite off more than they could chew. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's just going to piecemeal its way through the life cycle of this game. I think 10 years is unrealistic for any game. I mean, WoW being the obvious apparent exclusion for whatever, because spoiler for news, Blizzard just canceled their new MMO. They can't even compete with themselves. So Yeah, I guess I'll stop rambling now because I think I've hit rambling state.
Okay. So let's see. I would basically say that the enemy AI in Destiny is probably one of the best AIs I've ever seen ever. So when you guys say that at low levels, you're right, but as the game scales in difficulty, they are freakishly annoyingly good.
Oh, I was getting killed by level 22 people.
Yeah, when you're
Because
level 24.
they were flanking me. I saw them, and I was like, where are they going? Why are they going? Oh my gosh, they're behind me. That was so annoying. But it was genius.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. I mean, I'm level 20. I haven't seen that yet. So.
Yeah, neither. I'm level 6.
Yeah, and so that's actually one of my issues with the game is you can be level 28 and stand in a mass of level 3s, and they can still kill you. Whereas if you go just one level higher, if you are level 28 fighting a bunch of level 29s, they will murderize you into the ground to the point of non-recognition. So I don't like the way that works necessarily. That scaling doesn't seem to be in the player's favor either direction. Being a longtime MMO person, that's all this game is. Level 20 is an artificial cap created by them so that you could then grind for loot beyond that to get up to level 30. And we'll talk about that. But I mean, if you like grinding, that's what this game is. If you like learning maps and doing those maps over and over again, that's what this game is. And so in that respect, I keep sounding very negative about it, yet it's all I'm playing. Every waking moment, I am playing this game. It is addictive, the mechanics are hella fun, and it is super fun to get together with your friends and go through a strike or go through any of the co-op missions, etc. I can run stuff on my own, but 2 sets of eyes, when I'm looking for helium on the moon, or I'm looking for rusted iron, when there's 2 or 3 of us all looking at the same time, and we're calling out, and you're collecting it just that much faster. I think that's the beauty of the game.
It's so much fun when I would do that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I highly recommend that side of it. And Kate, I know you're not a multiplayer person. I'm actually very interested to see your perspective as you continue to play, especially if you stay doing solo. Because
I can't play with you guys. I'm on PS3, so that automatically takes kind of some of my desire because, like I said, I have a different online experience than you guys do just because of my gender. So playing with others is not always a fun alternative. So I'm going to see how much of it I can actually solo. I'll probably end up getting to level 20 and be, because I don't mind doing kind of the public events where you all just kind of converge on an enemy. That's pretty fun. It's just kind of like you're working together and then you just all go your separate ways. I actually find that really fun. It's everyone's like, oh, hey, look at this thing. Pew, 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 pew. And then it's like, see ya. That part I like. So I'll see how far I can get on that.
There are far too few public events.
No, actually, that is not true at all.
Okay, I play at the wrong time then.
If you go look online on the Destiny wiki, it actually has the timetable for all the public events.
That's work.
Literally.
Really? I saw so many public events when I was wandering around. I don't know. I was playing on a Tuesday afternoon.
I think I've seen 3.
Yeah,
I saw 5 in one playthrough on Old Earth. It's just oh, they keep coming, and there were times where I couldn't join it, or I got destroyed because I'm like, ooh, Walker right there, dude, and he's like, oh, I'm the only person fighting it, and I'm level 4.
So, Kate, I'm going to give you some advice if that's all right. Since you're not going to do PvP, there is something that you can do to still get PvP gear.
I might try PvP just to try it, but it's probably not going to be where my heart is.
Well, you know where the speaker is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right next to the speaker, there's a vendor that sells gear for whatever class you're using. And they sell a special cape or whatever the case is for your character that allows you to accrue influence for that faction instead, and that gives you access to PvP gear.
Okay.
So you wear that while you do the daily bounties, as an example, and
Yeah.
that will actually accrue, instead of Vanguard points, that will actually accrue for your faction, so you can get access to those high-level tier items. The other thing...
You can't get to that till you're level 20, though.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I have
can.
a long way to go.
No, you can do that anytime.
No, I couldn't get it until it said level 20. Even with the capes, or for me, it was cloaks, and it was level 20 for me to get it. Whether it be New Monarch or Dead Orbit or the Future War something, those three.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to tell you is you don't have to fear playing multiplayer. No one will talk to you.
Yeah, no kidding at all.
You physically cannot talk to anyone, even if you're paired up with someone else, unless they are in your fire team. And what I mean by that specifically is you have invited a group of people before you go into whatever the event is. So you can play multiplayer, everyone will be silent, and you don't have to talk to anyone. So that may be something that changes your mind about playing with multiplayer.
Pretend they're AI, and you get fun multiplayer.
That's exactly it. So, just FYI.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep checking back in with everybody on Destiny and see what the evolution of everyone's experiences over time, but I did want to spend a little time talking about that before we jumped into news, which is where we head next.
Beep, 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 beep.
That was a big chunk of Destiny. That was cute.
We lost Dave.
Yeah,
I
well,
think he fell asleep.
because he only did 22.7 minutes of Destiny.
Oh.
So, Starbee Studios acquires LA-based developer Geminos in a deal worth $7 million. Why is this important? Because Geminos has been developing a game that is in the Toys to Life genre, similar to Skylanders and Disney Infinity. No idea or announcement of what the IP is at this point, but the fact that we could have yet a third Toys to Life entry in the console space seemed like a big deal that I wanted to touch on for just a moment. And speaking of Toys to Life, Dave.
If he's awake.
Hello.
Dave.
Yay!
Hey.
Speaking of Toys to Life, you've got some stuff behind you, I believe, yes?
Yeah.
You have to talk. Yeah. Go ahead and say something because you have to talk.
Oh, hey. So, yeah, I don't even have the full game yet, and I have like all the individual stuff I can get. For whatever reason, my shipment got delayed from Amazon for a day, so my Hulk Special Edition, PS4 version of it's not in yet. So I should have that tomorrow. But everything else is pretty much covered on it. And quite frankly, I'm embarrassed because I knew this was going to happen, and it happened. And
Well,
I'm mad at Mark because it's his fault.
That's fine. I'll take that blame. Speaking of embarrassing, I believe you know about a PlayStation Vita game coming up.
Oh yeah. So apparently the wrong one. There we go. Apparently Persona 4, people like that. It's really popular. They're gonna have the Persona 4 Dancing All Night coming out, but it's gonna be a while. Apparently, right now it's to be determined or to be announced in 2015. So who knows when that's actually going to come out? Because that can get bumped really easily.
What kind of game is it, Dave?
It's
Is it a dancing sim?
Yeah, seems to be.
Really? Will I use my Kinect on it?
You will not, since it's on the Vita.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So is it a rhythm? Is it a rhythm game then?
Oh.
technically, if they really wanted to do it.
Yes, it is a rhythm dancing game for the Vita. That if you like Persona 4, who knew they were all professional dancers?
Yeah.
They're all trying out for backup dancers for Hatsune Miku.
That's very possible.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
so I'm sure everybody's going to rush out to get that one. Then again, I can't really complain. I just spent $100 on little toys for a game.
That's it.
Probably.
Probably.
The bill
Yeah,
for
I
the
don't think it's probably, but that's all right.
I think
What's
you
that?
gotta add a few more dollars to that.
Is it really? I wasn't paying
speaking of adding some dollars to that, Neo, I believe there's some updates on the PlayStation Store and some sales.
Well, there are. As
Yay.
is customary, there are weekly updates to the store. Now, there's some stuff in here that apparently I have not been paying attention at all because a lot of this stuff I have no idea what it is other than the short description given. So, life hates me because the first one on the list I'm not even sure how to pronounce. So, Arnosurge? I'm not even sure what language that's supposed to be. Nosurge. Subtitle: Ode to an Unborn Star. It is apparently a some type of RPG that is told the story of a space fantasy from two different perspectives, one of human and one of robot. It sounds interesting, but I realized not so terribly long ago I just don't have time for RPGs anymore, so I probably won't play it. And that is on the PS3, digital and retail release. Digital, I hate that term. It's download. They're all digital. Just get over it. No.
That's like the third time you brought it up.
I know. It's
He's
a
going to
sticky
continue
point
to do
with
this.
me. It's
The,
sticky.
the best part was we were playing Destiny, and just to put Dave back to sleep, we were playing Destiny, and he turned. He's literally, I heard him turn to me in the game. I couldn't see him, but he turned to me and he said, "You know,
felt it.
if I just got a legendary, I'd stop complaining." And I paused, and there was a very long pregnant pause, and I'm like, probably not. And he's like,
Gonna
yeah,
be the legendary
probably
boots.
not.
It would have been for like at least 5 minutes. I would have stopped complaining. But,
Got legendary boots. Yay.
For a class
yeah,
I don't play. Yay.
For a classy.
I think like every single blue encrypted I've picked it up has either come out as a white or a something that wasn't gear.
I have a
Proud to
full,
say it. I don't
I
get
have
it
a-
anymore.
I have a full armor set of purple warlock gear, which I don't have.
Which
a
of course you
warlock.
can't give it to me because
Yeah.
there's no gifting in the game.
Exactly. No trading. Yeah.
Hopefully they'll change that.
They won't.
I doubt it. Not anytime soon. But all right, continuing down the list on the PS3 and the PS Vita. Again, these are all for purchase items. We will not see any more free items until 2 weeks
October
from
8th.
now. Yes. And we'll have news on what those are next week. Next on the list is Arcana Heart 3. Love Max! I don't know who this Max is, but they really love him because it's all caps and 5 exclamation points. It is a 2D fighting game by the company that
Really
brought us
nerdy.
Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. So if you like those games, this is another anime-style inspired 2D super fighter stopping the evil Drexler Institute from destroying Japan. Next on our list, we go to the PS4 for Castle Storm Definitive Edition. It's like Castle Storm, but the Definitive Edition. Defense Grid 2, also on the PS4, which is like Defense Grid 1, but just Defense Grid 2.
Those two games came out on the Xbox One as well. I was curious about them.
Defense Grid 2, PS4, and that is a tower defense game.
Okay.
FIFA, some kind of sports ball thing. I hear it's big in like Europe or something. It's on the PS4, PS3, and PS Vita, both for download and retail. Defense Grid 2 and Castle Storm are download only. Flockers, be careful how you say that. It's by the creators of Worms, but appears to be more of a Lemmings-style game where you have to get
Almost
your
bought
crew
it.
from one point, well, your crew rather, from one point to another. That is also a download only. On the Vita, you have Frozen Synapses Prime. It's some sort of tactical strategy game. That's about all I can tell you.
Matt's phoning
Instant
him.
buy.
Matt's phoning him in now. Tactical game. Check.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Go buy it.
It's
Slender
on some
the
sort of,
Arrival horror game. Check.
it's some sort of game thing. Oh, and on the side,
Neo Sapien approved.
I've been catching up on The Strain, which I don't know if anyone else watched, which is a Guillermo del
Guillermo.
Toro's, yes, thank you, take on vampires. And
I heard it's really weird.
it is really weird, but it's actually really good. It's like Helix that was on Sci-Fi, but good.
Wow.
Okay. And what? Anything else come out this week?
Yeah, but I was just gonna say the pawn shop guy he actually traded a PS4 for Intel, which I thought was hilarious. So on PS3, why we keep jumping around, why this list isn't sorted in some sort of way because I'm lazy and I didn't sort it ahead of time, I don't know. Slender, The Arrival, makes its console appearance on the PlayStation environment in PS3. It's the same Slender, The Arrival that you saw on PC, but now it is on, and this is on PS3.
Check our video review on Gamersledge.com.
Thank you for that. And then also for download, that is download only, and also for download, the PS2 classic of WALL-E, the story of the lovable robot fell in love with another lovable robot and saved the human race with the power of love of a robot. Robot. And on sale is a lot of games. I took way too long with that first one. Essentially, any Assassin's Creed game that is available, downloadable on the PlayStation system is on sale. Many of them for $10, including Assassin's Creed 3, Revelations, Brotherhood 2, Ultimate Edition, the original Liberation, HD. The original Liberation on Vita, for some reason, is $13.50. Bloodlines is $10. And then the 4 Black Flag is $20. 4 Black Flag is $20, which must be on PS3, and Black Flag on PS4 is $32.
Yep. And then I think Borderlands is also
yes,
on sale.
also Borderlands. Basically, every Borderlands 2 thing possible is on some amount of sale. $5 for Borderlands 2 if you didn't get it under Plus when it was free. And then Borderlands itself is also $5. Plus, most of all the DLC is $1.50 or $5 for Borderlands 2.
Might have to check it out. I've never played a Borderlands.
Oh, I think you'd enjoy it.
I've got 2 downloaded on my PS3. I've just never played it.
That's the story of my life.
And then Nordic Game Sale. I'm not sure. This must be the developer. The article here doesn't say, but they're all less than $15. Most of them are under $10. But there's Arcania, The Complete Tale, Darksiders 2 Season Pass, Darksiders 2 Argos Tombs DLC, Darksiders 2 Death Rides Pack.
Yeah, it's
Jeopardy,
just basically MX versus ATV,
Painkiller, bunch of Red Factions, Stuntman, and Raven and Wheel of Fortune.
Yep.
So, yes, I'm done now.
A lot on PlayStation.
A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff on sale. You know, PS3 is really the place to be right now for stuff on sale and things. It's insane.
Well, I liked seeing that there are a lot of Vita titles coming out over this last couple weeks as well. And Turo, I think we know about another Vita title.
Yeah, this could be dangerous, actually.
Because I know you have a Vita.
I do.
And this might be right up your alley.
My gosh, it might not be. It could be very dangerous if I dip my toes in there again. But Minecraft could be coming to a Vita, your Vita, soon. 4J Studios actually sent in the final certification for it to go to pass, so they can actually sell it to everybody. So it's almost there. It's almost there for the Vita if you really want it. And if not, well, then you can hope that it fails. But that just means they have to fix it, and then they can send it in again. But it's the final steps for having it on the Vita if you really like Minecraft, which I don't. I just can't stop playing it whenever I do.
And speaking of lots of PlayStation news this week, Kate, I think you've got one on PlayStation as well.
Yep, PlayStation TV launches with 700 games in the U.S. on October 14th.
Woohoo!
And there will be a bundle, a Lego Movie video game bundle on that same day. PS TV enables users to play some Vita games. I don't know, only some classics from PS1 and PSP, and PS3 games via the cloud with PS Now. Additionally, for PS4 owners, PS TV can be leveraged with remote play to stream certain PS4 titles on another television in the house, which would be pretty fun. The basic PS system is going to be $99. There's going to be a bundle with a controller, an 8 gig memory card, and the Lego Movie video game, like I said, for $139.99. And Walmart is going to also have an exclusive bundle with Sly Cooper as well as the Lego video game. And it's also going to be $139.99.
Interesting. Now, just a quick poll. How many people here are actually going to get a PS TV?
No.
You guys say something, Matt.
Oh, I thought his waving arms was loud enough.
He wasn't making that noise with them.
Yeah. Dave, you're not going to buy a PlayStation TV?
Shockingly, no. I don't really see me having a use for it.
Don't you have more than one TV?
I do, but let's face it, I'm not going to want to game on another one in this house at this point.
That TV is beautiful.
It's a work of art, dude. So I'm not going to want to mess with that.
See, this for me is the equalizer, because we bought the new TV for upstairs and we put the old TV downstairs. There's nothing wrong with the old TV. It's 1080p. It's a Sony panel. It's fine. But the kids get a little flustered when the wife and I are going to watch a TV show or something off the DVR, and they want to be playing something on the PS4. Hook this up to the TV downstairs. Perfect.
Yeah, it's good for families for sure.
Turo, what about you?
I'm not getting it. I just have this TV.
Yeah, but what if Sammy's playing something on that TV and you want to play PS4?
Well, I would have to get another TV, which I would like to be getting them as soon as the 4K TVs go on super sale, because right now they're expensive. But as soon as that would be the next one that I get, if once they drop in price.
There's not enough content for them either.
Exactly. I mean, it's not caught up yet. So whenever it's a medium, a regular thing for 4K stuff to be out, then
dude, I just got this thing. I don't understand how 4K could make my life better. This thing is ridiculous looking already.
I don't either. I want to be blown away on top of being blown away. And
go into a Best Buy sometime, as much as it may make your blood curdle, and look at some of the curved screen 4Ks, and you'll get it.
Speaking of curved screens, iPhone came out with a new iPhone. Or Apple came out with
the screen yourself.
Thank you. Transition made by me.
Nice.
Oh, so in other news, GameStop has recently announced that they are open to the idea of buying and selling your DLC.
So you bought it for $10. Here's 10 cents. Got it.
Probably not. But what was interesting is that once they announced this, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. The only way that you could do something like this is if a publisher agreed to put in the hooks to allow you to do such a thing. So I'm publisher X. Just pick any publisher you want, or developer, take your pick. And right now, I'm making $10 off Turo when he buys my DLC plugin A. And now GameStop wants to come in and actually take a cut of that when I'm getting all the profits now as there is. The only reason that I could see that a publisher would ever want to do this is GameStop coming to the table and saying, look, we will promise that we can sell this many units of DLC. Because then you're talking about having a much larger sales force for that DLC and a much larger impact. But, right now, if I buy a game and then I buy the DLC and I trade in that game, well, true, the game publisher does not receive any money when Turo buys the game from GameStop, but if he buys the DLC, all of that money goes to the publisher. So I'm not really seeing what I get where GameStop's going with this, and I actually think this is a better forward-thinking idea than, say, the other initiatives that I've seen them do recently, trying to move into the mobile game space and that type of stuff. Because those things are crap, just FYI. But I don't think that this is really a feasible thing. What do you guys think after hearing about this?
I think with the season passes, especially earlier, if you buy them early with certain games that come out, season passes are cheaper than buying them later on. Like I can't remember the games, but I remember if a season pass is 20
Oh,
bucks.
Battlefield 4.
Oh, like if you buy a season pass for 20 bucks, it's actually going to be 15 if you buy it now before the game comes out or something. So even then, you already get it on sale. So how much less could they be selling the DLC, used DLC?
To me, it comes down to a technical aspect. I mean, we're talking about something that has no physical form that can't be traded in, which means now you've got to figure out, you've got to go in and selectively say, I want to deactivate my license and transfer it to GameStop.
Right, and
That's
the
weird.
only way that would ever happen is if a publisher gave GameStop
Right.
the hooks to do it, which
Exactly. And not just the
Yeah,
publisher.
market
I mean, the
keys.
console owner almost has to do it. I mean,
well, no, but that's what I'm saying is as long as there's hooks in there, GameStop could develop an interface
right.
to allow a consumer to do that.
Oh my gosh, I just started thinking about. Oh man, because
It's
I
like
could
an ATM or something.
I could borrow a bunch of DLC and make it mine and then sell it, even though it's not mine. It's just
Well,
been
that
borrowed.
wouldn't work because the DLC owner, there's still an owner on the, well, at least on the PlayStation, there's still owner on the file, and they'd have to make it that anyone who's not the owner would.
Before there's patches and stuff, I could make a lot of money.
I can see them. The only thing I can picture in my head, because it's such an abstract concept, is like an ATM kind of like station in GameStop where you can kind of go in and buy used DLC like on like a card, like a PSN kind of card. I don't know, something like that.
I don't
That's
think
all
you
I
would
can
even.
picture.
No, all you'd need to do is actually create an interface that goes directly to the console. Once the hooks are there, then you can do it through the web browser on the console and just scan the contents of your hard drive.
But then that makes me wish they'd have like an ATM like station where you could put in your old like PS3, PS2, PS1 games and kind of like scan them as if they had like a little barcode and get them onto your current console. That would be awesome.
Well, if there's any company who knows the concept of ATM, it's definitely GameStop.
Yes, so from there, I think we'll take a left turn and Dave,
Yes.
I know you've abstained from all the Destiny talk and chatter so far this episode, so why don't you tell us about a milestone in Destiny?
Yeah, apparently somebody hit level 30, which is impressive because they were only supposed to be able to hit 20.
Well, no, 30's the actual cap.
Oh, 30's the actual cap?
Yeah,
20
30 and light armor.
Yeah, 20's the soft cap. 30 is the actual cap.
Right. The oh, I misunderstood. I thought you weren't supposed to be able to get to that just yet, and like people got around it right away.
Right. And notes from everybody that they fell off the internet and are rejoining. Hi, Kate.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Everybody seemed to fall off the internet. Let's send out some invites.
What happened?
Well, all I know is Turo fell off the internet for sure, and it looks like everybody else went with him.
Yeah, it took me down, but I'm back. Back in the saddle, baby.
Right. I was really looking forward to. I really thought I stumped Dave for a minute. because he just stopped responding about the Destiny stuff. And then I realized no one was moving but me.
Oh, so it happened to all of us, huh?
Yeah, everybody but me fell off the internet.
Wow.
Or maybe you fell off the internet.
If I fell off the internet, I would have got kicked from the call. Trust me, that's happened before. We've had big fun when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, as Dave was saying, while we're waiting for him to come back, basically what happened is the first level 30 character in Destiny was achieved. Literally, in order to do that, he had to have 120 light on his armor, and actually, surprisingly, was able to hit it in only 114 or 107 hours of gameplay. And he basically just has done a lot of loot harvesting, and then he said a quarter of his 107 hours were spent in PvP mode, and 13 hours were devoted to the game's first raid. So it's an interesting milestone, and it was, in fact, the other related piece of news is that someone ran the raid today in 37 minutes. So that is now the shortest amount of time that is taken to...
From 14 hours to 37 minutes in less than a week?
Yep. So that's very interesting. And the interesting thing is that group was comprised of four hunters and a warlock, I believe. Welcome back, Turo.
Yay, I'm back. I don't know what happened. Everything froze, and I got scared. And yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's like that time I left you all by yourself on the podcast.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, actually.
The look of terror in your eyes.
I started dancing and everything.
Yeah, I watched it, and you were like, they're not coming back. Nobody's coming back.
I'm alone. Started ripping my clothes off and everything. No, that didn't happen.
Yeah, no, that did not happen, thank God. Turo.
Yes, I'm back.
We haven't talked about the Xbox One in a while. What fantastically interesting new news is going on with the Xbox One?
Nothing. They're adding a new app, though. I guess it's kind of exciting if you don't have Hulu. They're adding the Comedy Central app, so that's awesome. You don't have to have Xbox Live Gold to download stuff now. So yay for Microsoft for finally learning, but boo for Microsoft for taking it this long for them to do that.
Yay for Sony forcing them to change.
Oh yeah, thank you, Sony. That's awesome. Well, I mean, it still doesn't benefit me. It really doesn't. I still have Hulu. All my stuff is on there. Same thing with Comedy Central, except for you don't have to pay for it. If you have a cable service, you can log in to your account onto Comedy Central, and you'll be able to watch stuff the day after. So anything new happening that day, whether it be Daily Show or the new South Park or something, the next day you can watch it, just like Hulu. So that's kind of exciting for those who don't have Hulu and who love Comedy Central. If you don't have Xbox Live, or Xbox Live Gold, excuse me, then it'll be limited. You can still watch some stuff, just it's limited.
Well, Matt,
I don't know. Can we talk about those for a second? I don't get the concept. You have to already have something that you subscribe to that has the channel to be able to use these.
Excuse me. If you don't have Xbox Live, or excuse me, if you don't have a subscription or a cable subscription, then you won't get the full amount. Not Xbox Live. Sorry about that. My bad. Didn't mean to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you don't have, say I didn't have cable or satellite or whatever, you'd still get some stuff, but
you'll still get some stuff, even if you did or did not have Xbox Live Gold.
Right. The live isn't a part of it, but
no, it's not.
I've seen so many of these things where they want you to sign in with your cable provider to get the content that you get from the cable provider. Yeah, I don't know. The concept of the app is lost on me at that point.
Well, it's on demand versus having to bow or adhere to the
DVR
channel schedule.
DVR.
It's for people who don't have a DVR.
I guess, yeah, there are still people out there who don't have DVRs.
I don't have a DVR, and I have the internet, thank you. But I also have Hulu Plus, and if it's not on Hulu Plus, if it's not on Netflix, then I can find it on the internet, or I can borrow someone's account.
Oh
Has
boy.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on from
Views
there.
of Toon Monkey are not
Yeah,
necessarily.
yeah. Views of not necessarily those Gamersledge.com. Matt,
That's 15th time.
Destiny is the big game right now, but Sony's got an exclusive coming up on, I think, October 14th or October 8th, one of the two. And that is Drive Club.
Yeah, that game that we were supposed to get at launch.
Well, I don't mind them taking time if it means it's actually going to be a good game.
Right. But there still is. There's been some clarification, but there still is kind of confusion around exactly what all the different versions of the game are. It is, finally coming, and there are two primary versions: the PlayStation Plus version and the retail version. And then there's the PlayStation Plus upgrade to the retail version. The problem I see here, the confusion I see here, is still the price point. So you're going to get access limited to tracks and the number of cars you can get initially, at least, using the PlayStation Plus free version of Drive Club. However, there is a upgrade option to upgrade it from the free PlayStation Plus to the full retail version. However, it's $49.99. Convert that to your own European currency. The euro is $49.99 and the pound is $42.99. To me, okay, you're saving $10, I guess. So. Honestly, I don't think I'll be playing this game that much, so I think the free version of it will be fine for me. You can get into the races, can still make your merry band of ultra super sweet car driver arounders. So I think that'll end up being enough, and it'll have to wait and see exactly how much content is restricted with the free version. So there was some further clarification that fans should not worry about the competitive factor of Drive Club, as all the challenges in the games are very competitive. That means almost nothing, but yeah, there you go. It's very competitive. The full car list has been revealed. It's out there on the interwebs. I don't want to read it because it's really long, and I don't know how to pronounce some of these vehicles' names.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, we're not asking you.
Yeah, no. Then the more cars are coming, of course. There's going to be more tracks, more cars. And what's the difference between having the free version and paying $50 to upgrade, or just buying the retail for $59.99? Honestly, if I were really wanting this game, I would probably just go get the retail version for $59.99, and that's just the way I would do it. But if you are interested and you start playing the PlayStation version and you decide, you know what, I really want the full game, you'll get to save $10 over retail. So,
Kate, Ubisoft announced that they're actually going to be releasing a game that we have been wondering whether or not was actually going to come out, but they also announced some other information about that same game.
Yeah, Watch Dogs. It's going to the Wii U, but it's not getting any DLC, which, is kind of at the point with Nintendo and the Wii U, we're just kind of like, of course, and just kind of throw your hands up. So they're just basically getting the bare bones game. And it's also kind of funny that it's going to be the last M-rated game that's going to be on the Wii U, which, kind of seems to limit the Wii U's ability for, third party, and I mean, they have so much first party stuff that they could make but aren't making, but
How can they say that? They really are saying that? Like, this is the last mature title, that's it?
That's what it literally says. Well, they tweeted and said, unfortunately, DLC will not be available for the Wii U, and that tweet was actually removed after people got upset, and Ubisoft has openly announced that Watch Dogs will be the last mature game brought to the Wii U.
Oh, that Ubisoft is bringing to the Wii U.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they stopped putting mature games on it altogether. I mean, at this point, are they going to put any games on it. Like, it has no third-party support.
Well, and I think this is actually a good discussion point I was hoping to get into is what does Nintendo do at this point? Because it really seems like not even Smash can rescue the Wii U at this point.
It's too little, too late again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is an interesting spot that Nintendo is in because they have never been this far down their own rabbit hole. This literally, to me, reminds me of
Say it.
the Sega Dreamcast.
Ah!
And you know, the sad part is the Dreamcast had a lot of things going for it. It was extremely good. It had extremely creative and inventive software that was so far outside the norm of mainstream America. That was one of the endearing parts of it.
Yeah,
but that also hurt its adoption. And
the Wii U isn't outside the box, though. Like, I mean, it's not kind of the hipster Dreamcast.
It's not. But it's failing in the same way that the Dreamcast did.
Yeah.
It's got no traction. It's got no.
But didn't Sega not? They didn't have a lot of money. They put all their money into this, right?
Right. No, and that's the difference. Is that this is not the failure of the Wii U would not make Nintendo go away. It seems like they're making one mistake after another. I mean, look at the new 3DS. That is a prime example. They had a chance.
Nobody needed that.
Yeah. No. Not only did nobody need it, but nobody needed the exact same name device.
But how many people in Japan are going to buy it? Like, I think that's the only question that they're asking themselves. They only care about Japan at this point, it seems. And I kind of wonder if it's like they should just kind of have, if we're going along the same Dreamcast parallel, go to software only, and if they're going to do hardware focus only on handheld, and then I wonder if they could make more money that way, becoming almost like a third-party software developer, aside from making 3DS stuff. Like, I mean, they can but making like Mario games for Xbox and Sony. Think how much money that could make, making their stable character games for the two other bigger consoles. They'd have a lot more graphical enhancements than their consoles ever had. It'd have the audience, a bigger online support, robust online play, everything their consoles do not have.
I think they're too snooty. They're proud.
Everything that developers don't know how to program for.
Oh.
Well, the thing is, Nintendo getting away from anything video game, speaking all business standings, they need to clean house. They need new president, new vice presidents, new presidents of marketing, new development teams. They need new development teams who could learn for the Sony and the Xbox, because I think Nintendo loves money, and I think that would be a good moneymaker for them, and then they could still have the handheld hardware and shovelware that the 3DS gets. It's like if they stayed handheld only, but then, like, because I would love to buy, like, a Mario game on a Sony. That'd be wicked.
Matt, what do you think?
I don't know. To me, nothing they're doing right now makes sense. I said we wouldn't end up with 3DSs. We did. There's 4 3DSs in the house, so obviously that didn't last. And it's a good system. I'm not knocking it. When it first came out, I made that grandiose statement. It's a good system.
If you had the choice to get the 2DS over to 3DS at the time, what would you have got?
I'm actually the only person in the house without one. Everybody else has one.
So, what would you have got for them? Do you think they would be more inclined for the 2DS?
I don't. Honestly, I think we probably would have ended up getting the 3DSs anyway. Simply for the portability factor and the clamshell. I do think that the clamshell is a better design than the flat.
I love the clamshell.
So I don't see that we would have gone with the 2DS. I see the market that the 2DS was for, and I think it was a good sub-SKU for them to go with. But now with this new 3DS that's not a 3DS, but it is a 3DS, and the whole Wii U debacle.
Yeah.
Nerd.
I was trying not to use the word, but it just I don't know what they're doing. They're not in danger yet, but they need to get. I'm kind of with Kate. I think they need to just clean the benches and bring in new talent.
I just see them making mistake after mistake after mistake. I mean, when you look at the naming conventions, that's a huge one. Wii and then Wii U, and everybody complains about it. And then you've got the 3DS XL, and now you've got the new 3DS. You talked about the 2DS. I'm glad you brought that up because I think that was a mistake in and of itself. Because
Really?
Yeah.
Playing
and
backtrack?
Here's why. Because now you've got the new 3DS where they're saying, hey, we fixed all the 3D problems that everybody had with the 3DS. It's not like that's the bread and butter of the system because they have a 2DS that has no 3D.
So
that
they
has to play
fixed
all
something that wasn't broken, or
yeah, they
wasn't-
fixed something that was already superfluous that nobody.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the point of having a new 3DS? I don't think that the right analog stick / nub looks good. I don't think it's going to feel.
Doesn't look usable.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of the old trackpad, or not trackpad, the old what the hell were those things called? The pencil.
Cat's tongues.
No, the pencil erasers that were in the middle of your keyboard.
Oh,
I
those
would
are terrible.
call those cat's tongues. Yeah, whatever those were. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody calls them cat's tongues unless you're from Minnesota or Wisconsin. Jeez.
Don't dare insult me there, man. Don't you even? You're no stinking Viking fan.
But yeah, it's I'm interested to see whether it's going to sell well. I mean, yes, in Japan, the market's different in Japan. They are a mobile-based economy. That's why mobile games are doing so well and consoles are not doing well. So I think you're right, Kate, in that respect, that moving to mobile maybe in that space makes more sense for them. But that's sure not the case here. Here we have consoles, and for them to just throw away their entire North American profit division when North America is making as much money for them as
Japan's
Japan.
not the market it used to be.
Yeah.
Japan is a niche market now. It is not the video game powerhouse anymore. Like, they're just kind of considered, oh, that's the place that plays 3DSs all the time. Like, North America is the focus of the video game world now. I mean, I know that Sony is a Japanese developer, but they don't look at Japan as their focal audience anymore. Nintendo still does. And I have to disagree with that. They are in trouble. Maybe not physically, or financially, but they're in trouble because, like, their name is going through the crapper right now.
I think not just that, but mind share. They are, in terms of mind share, no one thinks about, hey, I'm picking up a new console. Should I pick up a Nintendo console?
No one says that unless they are only, like, grandmas who use it for yoga. Like, and even then, whatever. Like,
no, I agree. I should have included another word in that statement. They're not fiscally in trouble.
No, they're not. But they could be fiscally a lot more stable if they because if you still had the handheld hardware and software base, you'd still be making your money hand over fist in Japan. But if you went to third-party development, I mean, yeah, they don't do a lot of console stuff in Japan, but Sony still do sell there. Like, people do have PS4s in Japan. So they would buy a Mario game on a Sony. Maybe not an Xbox, because we know that Microsoft just has no inroad. Well, because Japan is
Xbox.
Japan is xenophobic in general. Like, they buy Japanese things. They like Japanese things. Like, I don't want to outright call them racist, but they're xenophobic. They prefer Japanese things. So, of course, that's why Microsoft is never going to make an inroad there. But could you imagine the money they would make if they even did, like, ports of older games just as a start test market and then made, like, new games for the Sony and for Xbox? they'd make tons of money, and it would be like a new rejuvenation where people would be like, oh yeah, Nintendo, like I forgot, I hadn't played a Nintendo game in a really long time because I haven't played a new Nintendo game in forever because I never wanted to buy their consoles. So I mean, there'd be a lot of people like me who would be like, oh, a Mario game, I haven't played one of those like since I was a kid, and it would just create so much more new buzz. But the only way that's going to happen is if they get rid of the old Japanese business model people who are kind of sitting on their laurels, spoiled, snooty old money. Like, they need fresh blood, and that's the only way Nintendo is going to succeed. And I think if they try and make another console when, like, the next generation, like PS5 and the Xbox 2 hits, that if they make another console there, it's going to be an epic disaster, like of laughable proportions, because they're already getting kind of laughable.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you're right. I mean, they've already shown they can't handle the basic fundamentals of a network strategy, of interconnected players, of online multiplayer, and why they haven't given that up and jumped to the software model is simply because they don't want to lose their walled garden. They can't control the message if they're playing ball with other companies.
Oh yeah, they're totally in ostrich mode.
Yeah, so I'll be interested to see what their next steps are. I think it's going to be a fabulous train wreck, if that makes any sense.
And it's kind of sad for a company that just celebrated its 125th birthday.
Yep.
Yeah, it really is. Like, they've got to save themselves, but I don't think they realize how much trouble they're in.
Oh, I think they realize wholeheartedly. I think the person sweating the most right now is the president in Japan, because people are already calling for his head, and investors don't understand what's going on. But then again, Japanese investors don't understand what a video game company is. They just want to see a return on the bottom line investment that they make in the company as stockholders. So
it's almost like they need to bring in a Western consultant. Yeah. Like, not necessarily to run the company, but just as someone who can come in and say, hey, this is what you need to do to make money. Like, not to speak necessarily to the company, but to speak to their shareholders, because that seems to kind of be where Nintendo would listen. So
I think we'll revisit this topic as time goes on, and I look forward to doing so, because like I said, I think it's going to be a spectacular train wreck as it occurs. But we talked a lot about Sony getting things right, and Turo, Sony's doing something else this week that I'm not sure I've ever heard of Xbox doing. Maybe you can help me out and clarify that.
Yeah, Xbox has been doing this before, but it's neat that PlayStation is going to be free for all people who do not have PlayStation Plus, the multiplayer. If you do not have PlayStation Plus, then you can play multiplayer on a bunch of games that require you to have Plus, starting on September 26th all the way to the 29th. So it's going to be that weekend. If you wanted to play some games with your friends and you just happen to have Plus, then go for it. You actually can. The Xbox, they don't really say much whenever it happens. It's just a little event that pops up on my screen. Last time they allowed Forza 5 to be played for a whole weekend and online, whether you did have an Xbox Live account or Gold.
So they just do a single game, not all games.
They've done all games before on the weekends, but this last one that I've seen, they had Forza 5. Even if you didn't have the game, you could play it for free online for that weekend only. So if, let's say you didn't play, you just wanted to see how it was, well, they give you the full effect even if you didn't have Xbox Live. I thought that was neat.
Gotcha. Steam does that a lot.
That's awesome. But in this case, Sony, all multiplayer stuff you're available to play, just as long as you have the game, and just have fun if you don't have it.
Well, there's two pieces of news that I wanted to hit before we wrap this up. One of them is kind of breaking news, and I couldn't wait to share it with you guys. And that is that as of October 14th, Activision is releasing the Duck Dynasty video game.
When can I pre-order?
Now, apparently, it's coming to Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. It was announced today and will be released October 14th, perhaps the shortest life cycle for marketing for a video game ever.
Pre-order that game, Jack!
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna run out at GameStop. You better watch out.
The wildlife action of Duck Dynasty will be developed by Bucharest, Romanian-based Fun Labs.
They are known for such games as Go.
As Cabela's Hunting,
Oh my gosh.
Rapala Fishing, and Men in Black Alien Crisis. So this is actually a game studio.
So is it actually going to be a duck hunting game using their calls?
That is exactly it. It is
so it's not you controlling Psy and doing.
No, it appears
it's Duck Hunt, but Uncle Psy comes out of the grass and laughs at you, isn't it?
It appears to have some sort of story-based campaign in which players will be able to pull pranks and blow things up in order to ingratiate themselves into the Robertson family. And there's first-person duck calling.
Can we break up their marriages by trying to seduce their wives?
I have no idea, and that's all you.
That's Honey Boo Boo. You got the wrong reality series.
That's all you.
Yeah.
I've never seen Honey Boo Boo, and I never will.
So that and the only other piece of serious real news is that it would appear that the development team that worked on Child of Light have become their own core team within Ubisoft Montreal.
Wow, good for them.
The studio vice president of creative Lionel Renault told CBG that they're going to make more titles similar to Child of Light moving forward. He was very happy, super happy was his quote, with the final game and its reception, and they already have several new projects at the pitching stage. So look for more out of that team in the near future. I thought that was definitely worth sharing, as Child of Light, was a phenomenal game.
Très bien.
Yay.
I do have a couple of things I want to get quick if we got a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Dave.
Oh, Dave's
not
back?
here.
Oh, he never came back?
No, he's never came back. Never came back.
Well, this one doesn't help then. But
we'll annoy him about it next.
We'll annoy him about it. Well, for those of you, I didn't realize it had been dated. When you're out picking up your copy of Duck Commander, Duck Hunt, whatever the heck it is, you can also look forward to coming back to your PS4 and downloading Bjorn and all of his buddies with Peggle 2 on your PS4.
Yes, that is coming
soon. Yay! Another thing I have to hit quick because the only person I know who plays this game is my son, but he loves the living crud out of this series. Every single Invisimals game ever is coming out this week and next week. The original 3 PSP games are coming out on Vita this week, or came out on Vita this week, and next week the PS4 and Vita combo pair will be released. It's first time for those last two in North America. And actually, I'm not sure that the third PSP game ever was launched in North America. But it's AR Pokemon, and the Invisimals, the Lost Kingdom, and Invisimals Alliance, which are the Vita and PS3. I said PS4, didn't I? PS3, excuse me. Vita and PS3 versions actually have crossplay, so you can be on the Vita and on the PS3, and you can play against each other, or you can actually import Invisimals from one game into the other. So that's for those of anyone out there who actually happens to be an Invisimals fan. It's a big couple of weeks for Invisimal fans, and because this is the game that got my daughter playing video games, SingStar will be debuting on the PS4 on October 28th, and in a surprise move, you actually will be able to download your PS3 songs that you purchased on PS4.
Really?
Yes, as long as you are signed in with the same SEN account that purchased the games on the PS3, you will be able to download at no charge your PS3 SingStar library.
I'll believe it when I see it.
It's right there in black and white.
No,
I know.
I'll actually be able to do it with my 6 activated PS3s. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that was kind of a, not to use the word again, especially without Dave here, but debacle.
Right.
Yeah, but if it works, that'll be awesome. And the prices of the songs are not going up. They're staying $1.49 for singles and $5.99 for packs.
Good.
So, and you could actually they're launching an app at the same time, so you can use your smartphone as a microphone if you don't have your USB microphones anymore.
Because I need other things to drain my battery. That's right.
Exactly.
Speaking of the same sort of thing where DLC will be, you can carry it on to a re-release. Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, which was at the Tokyo Game Show, which is kind of like the last version of Dead or Alive 5, you'll be able to transfer your Ultimate DLC to this new one, which is nice because I've spent a crap load of money on costumes. So hopefully it works. And, you know, I do post the pictures that I take on the site, so that only helps you if you like digital boobs.
That's right.
And one other thing I noticed I didn't see originally on the drop is starting this week you can pre-order something I didn't even know that was coming out. You can pre-order the PS4 Definitive Edition of Sleeping Dogs.
Yes.
$59.99.
Yes. That brings us to reader mail.
Oh, we got that yet. I forgot about that.
Reader mail. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was trying to move it along. Reader mail.
I know.
Questions de reader in Espanol, right? Turo?
Yes. No.
Questions de reader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, first question this week comes from Snappy PJs. He asks, what is your favorite move/connect game? Turo.
Pass.
I played a lot of Dance Central games, but it's not my favorite. I had a lot of fun with, what was it? Child of Eden.
Okay.
It was, one hand was like a gun, like a machine gun, and then this one was a tracking gun. It wasn't very, it didn't shoot a lot, but you could actually home into enemies and stuff, and the whole thing went with music, and it was really neat. That was fun. That was only a 360.
Matt.
Child of Eden, yeah.
I own like 3 move controllers, and I think I own like 1 or maybe 2 move games. So I've never done anything Connect. I'm trying to think. I guess the only game I can think of that I used it a lot for was The Shoot, which was basically a light gun game, which was kind of fun, but kind of stupid hard too.
Kate?
If I want to play games where I have to move, I go outside and do things.
So no
So
moves or
no, none.
All right. My favorite is actually Dance Central on Xbox 360. That is my favorite. I actually bought an Xbox 360 at the time, specifically for Dance Central. Evacuate the dance floor. Thank you very much. Drop the mic. So that's that. If I had to pick a move game, it would have been Sports Champions. The Frisbee golf one is pretty awesome, but that rest of the games all suck. So thank you for your question, Snappy PJs. Zachariah222. What game on console have you most obsessed about? And what about the games not on consoles? So, Turo, what game on console have you most obsessed about?
I just remember having such a crazy, awesome time with Halo. I remember staying in lines and lines.
Halo or Halo 2?
Well, the Halo series, I should say. More so Halo 2 and Halo Reach.
You gotta pick a game. They're asking.
Oh, okay. Halo 2. It was one of the first games that I asked off work, and my brother even he called in sick. My mom let us so we could drive to Fayetteville to buy the game, and then drive back, and then play it all day. That was.
And what about a game not on consoles?
Not on console.
I'm
Oh,
kind
man.
of thinking they're meaning like MMOs or something like that. Something you obsessed and spent a ton of time on.
I spent a lot of time on Diablo 3, and then I just kind of stopped. That and cell phones is Marvel Puzzle Quest and Clash of Clans.
Kate, what about you? Most
that would-
obsessed game on consoles?
That would definitely have to be Silent Hill 2. I mean, I wrote an essay on that game, so I've thought about that game and its metaphors and meanings a lot. Like,
And
I mean,
What about not on consoles?
Solitaire. Like, I don't play computer games because I've never had a really powerful computer. Like, I buy a computer for, like, a word processor and an internet browser, right? So I don't really play games on the computer. Maybe Dutch Blitz. It's a card game.
Okay.
I love that game.
Matt, what game on console have you most obsessed about?
I really hate questions like this. No offense. I get asked them by my kids all the time. That's why I get frustrated because, what's your favorite song? It depends. I guess thinking about it, it's either got to be this one or this one. I'm gonna go with Xenogears. I think that I know Skyrim came close, but I think my save file in Xenogears still has the largest amount of time I've ever poured into a game, and I was just obsessed with the world. I was scouring the young internet for more information about this world and what was going on, and it was supposed to be one part of a 5-part story, and what was the rest of it about, and I don't generally get that into things, so I think Xenogears, and the only thing I can think of on PC is X-Wing.
Okay.
I was obsessed to the point of hacking save files with that game.
I know you're gonna kick yourself when I tell you my answer because you're wrong about the number of hours you poured into a game. So the game that I have most obsessed about on consoles, Rock Band.
Oh, yeah, you don't see time in that one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Rock Band to me is like the only game that I've ever experienced like some kind of metaphysical link to other people that I'm like, oh my god, I feel like a band. This is awesome. So I spent so much.
That's a very good one.
But non-console, Final Fantasy XI by far and away, very dark period of my life. So yeah.
Yeah,
I played that one for a while too, actually.
Yeah,
He
thanks
even
for
bought the
bringing-
game for me because he wanted to play more.
Yeah, thanks for that, Zechariah222. Appreciated living through that again. Oh, I don't know how to say this one. Graciliano? Yes. Graciliano asks, what are some games that use dynamic music? I like when the music shifts in games based on what's going on. I'll start this one off since I had time to think about it. I thought of two, Sound Shapes and what was the shooter by the same guy? It was one of the first PSN titles.
Oh, a shooter, is it a simple shooter?
You're close, but that's not the name of it.
I thought it was like this was on the PS3 at the very beginning, right?
Yes.
And it was just like bow wow.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Every shot was actually a note in the song, and the enemies exploding changed the song. And
bow bow bow.
what is that developer?
Shooter. I think it was called Shooter.
Everyday shooter.
Everyday shooter.
Yes.
So I'd recommend those two off the top of my head. Anybody have any others to add?
See, now when
play
I
this game again.
read this question, I had a completely different reaction to what it was going on, because the first time I remember this happening, and they had a name for the system, I forget what it was, but was actually X-Wing, which is kind of weird. That's probably why I had that in my brain, where the music in the game actually didn't shift because of actions you were taking, but like whenever enemies would hyperspace in, the music would dun 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 dun, like it would tell you in the background music that something in the battle sphere had happened. And I was thinking actually a lot of games do that now. The first one that came to my mind when I started trying to think of modern ones is the Infamous series. The Infamous series music reacts highly with what's going on the screen. So it's interesting to see your take on it, where you're thinking more the sound shapes or the frequency, that kind of style of game, where I was thinking of like more platform action type games that have music that reacts as you, because even like Uncharted has the same thing, where the music in the background changes when you stumble upon an enemy, because it's not scripted, because you're not going to hit that exact same point in exact frame. It reacts to the fact that you've engaged that enemy, and it's not like boss music in an RPG, which would be another kind of thing, but that's very low level. So that's just interesting to me.
BTI Bosch asks, what are some good first-person RPGs?
There is no such thing.
That's not true.
No, it's not. It's just I haven't played one in so long, I don't even remember.
What was that, Kingsfield?
Yeah, Kingsfield
on the original PS1. I'd say all of the Ultima series.
Yeah, that's a good one. Ultima.
I mean, they're gonna look
old.
really dated and old, but they were really good RPGs.
Now, wasn't there a Dragon Quest sub-series that was the first person that's came out recently? Like the Joker series was that?
Not that I'm aware of in first person.
I thought there was a first-person style one series spinoff. There's something, and maybe it's not Dragon Warrior. There's something that was recent. I just can't think of what it was. Dang it! Go on.
Would say Borderlands is another one, right?
Well,
You could count that as an RPG, sure.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's always going to be Skyrim and
Yeah.
those technically.
Well, the Elder Scrolls ones, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not pure first person because you can switch in and out.
Is Bioshock kind of one? I mean, you could.
I wouldn't
add
consider
stuff
that an RPG.
Yeah, I'd call it a shooter.
It's still a shooter. I just knew that you could add attributes to certain stuff and take it away from other things.
It has RPG elements, you're right, but
It's not an RPG.
It's
Got
not
it.
an RPG.
All right, first person with RPG elements. Yep. Okay.
That's probably where I'd start you looking, BTI Bosch, is look at the Ultima series and Kingsfield for the PS1.
Oh, Fallout.
Fallout, yep, definitely Fallout, and
Forgot about that.
Elder Scrolls 4, Skyrim.
Oblivion too, like going
Yep.
older.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and I know there's a bunch of dungeon crawler, first-person dungeon crawlers type things out there. I don't know the names of any of them.
So this last question was signed one way, but the return address was another one. So I don't know what his real name is, but he signed it Broseph McBroserton.
All right.
Yeah, it was signed, yet the return address is Julio. So I don't know what his real name is, but whatever.
Julio McBro, boy.
Hey, what is your best drinking video game story?
I got a good one for that.
Go ahead.
It didn't actually happen to me, but I saw it happen. My sister was playing Final Fantasy VII. This was like way back when it first came out, and she, I guess she fell asleep because she'd had one, and she actually got ahead in the game. Like in her sleep, she was like fighting monsters and stuff like that. Like in her drunken sleep, she woke up and she had actually advanced the story. It was just like, how did that happen? It was awesome.
Oh no, she missed part of the story.
It wasn't a major part of the story, but it was still kind of
okay.
like it was like she was sleep gaming.
Nice. Turo?
Oh man, I have two of them.
You gotta pick the best one.
One involves Connect. Nah, that's just fun. It was memorable too. It's whenever they said that the Halo 2 servers were dying, and I had a couple of my friends that I used to game with a lot on Halo 2, and for a while we haven't touched it because we thought it was going to be there forever, and they came by just to have a great weekend here. So we went out drinking, of course, and we came back and we got news that they were closing the Halo 2 servers. So I turned on the Xbox and popped it in, and we just kept drinking and just had tons of fun being ridiculous on this game that we still love. And that went on for a while, and then someone fell asleep, and then we drew on their face, and then we kept playing Halo 2. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Matt?
The only time I have ever drank any amount and played a video game at the same time was playing Rock Band.
Nice.
So I mean, again, it wasn't really like anything.
So you're really
crazy.
simulating being an artist.
Yeah, exactly. The only time I can remember where it even got a little bit ridiculous was I was over at another family's house, and we had sent the kids off somewhere, and it was the adults playing Rock Band and drinking whiskey and margaritas. And somebody ended up with like a stuffed snake on their head. It was just silly antics. I mean, it wasn't anything great, but it was just really fun. It was just it's not a crazy story. Nothing stupid happened. Nobody ended up anything. It's kind of like
I think everyone's got a drunk Rock Band story. Like, you haven't heard that until you've heard me drunkenly singing "Creep" by Radiohead.
But the problem is we were actually doing really well. We were scoring ridiculously high. So it was funny because we're all just kind of not there, but we were still scoring really well in the game. So that was kind of the funny part. Yeah, I guess it was just a cool experience. It was fun. There was nothing crazy. It was just fun.
So mine's gonna take a minute, but I think it's funny.
Don't all your stories.
Yeah, pretty much. This would have been in '98. So just to bring you back on a level of tech that we were dealing with at the time, I had a PlayStation 1, and I had, God, it had to be an N64 at that point. Mm-hmm. And I also had one of the first projectors, like travel projectors. And so we would hook those up to the projector and blow it up on the full screen, like the full wall in the apartment that I was renting. And we'd have like 35 people over, and we'd all be drinking. And I remember we'd always play Mario Party because I had rules for drinking Mario Party, which got everybody everybody really drunk really fast. And, yay! But what happened one day was we decided to put in a PS1 game and blow it up on the wall after everybody was already drunk, called Bushido Blade.
Oh, nice.
And if you've never played Bushido Blade, it's probably one of the most... It's not realistic. I don't know how to say that. Your death is realistic. Yeah, it's a samurai fighting game, and if you actually slash someone across the left arm, then their left arm hangs limp. And if you get them in the body, they're just straight up dead. And if you hit one of their legs, they can't use that leg anymore. So it's kind of funny. Well, anyways, we were playing that, and we were having a good old time, and we were all like really gone by this point. And I remember it was me and the other guy that lived in the apartment at the time playing against each other. And there was a run button, and we just started running at each other. And somebody always slashed or rolled out of the way when that happened, and we were just like, no, I'm not blinking, no, I'm not blinking. And they smacked into each other and fell backwards onto their asses. And we all just like completely lost it at that point. There was no other gameplay happening after that point because we were all just hysterically laughing for like the next 20 minutes. And the worst part was I might have invited someone that I didn't like to get him completely drunk because I wanted him to teach him a lesson. And he might have the next morning when I woke up, he might have had his arms around the toilet in a very pained expression on his face and had to have his family come pick him up. So, that's my drinking video game story.
I have a little sub story. Not drunk, but high, playing Katamari Damacy. It's not even funny. You're just sitting there like, like it like breaks your brain. Like you're like, I don't even know what's happening. But if you ever want a trip that will give you nightmares, do that.
And those views expressed on Gamersledge.com. So, let's end this silly show. Please do visit the website, our housekeeping items, Gamersledge.com. Check out all the brand new content we've put up. Follow us on Twitter @Gamersledge. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Gamersledge. Subscribe, like, and comment to us on YouTube. It's YouTube.com/BalthonPSN, BalthonPSN. And watch us on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/BalTH99, Balth99. Mentioned earlier, we're giving away a copy of the Destinies, because I'm 102 years old. We're going to give you the Destinies, kids.
On the PlayStation.
On the PlayStation. Win a copy of Destiny for the PS4 for the next 2 weeks. Head to our Facebook page, tell us your favorite Bungie game, and like the page. If you've already liked, just comment. That's fine. But do comment. You only get one entry. We'll pick the winner at random because we can track all that stuff because analytics, hooray! And then to win one of the 2 Pop Man autographed prints that I showed earlier. Let me refresh everybody's mind. We've got the Wolverine one. And then we have the Spidey-Man one. To win one of these, all you have to do is head to our Twitter page, which is twitter.com/Gamersledge. Follow us and tweet who you think would win a fight, Wolverine or Spider-Man, and use the hashtag PopRocks. Now, that's Pop, POP, RHOCKS, because, like Pop Man, MHAN, PopRocks, RHOCKS. Yeah, I'm creative like that. So use the hashtag PopRocks and tell us who you think would win in a fight, Wolverine or Spider-Man. At the end of next week, we'll actually announce that on next week's podcast. We'll announce who won the 2 prints. That's all you got to do. Free stuff. And we'll, of course, post the instructions for both contests on the site, Facebook and Twitter. Watch for our interview with Pop to go up this weekend on the site as well. And what was your question, Matt?
What was the deadline for that again?
The deadline for the 2 prints is next Wednesday by 10 p.m. Eastern.
That's September 1st. Or October 1st, I mean.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern, actually, because I got to put it, figure out who the winner is. So just say next Wednesday evening. So, again, go to Twitter, follow us, and then tweet who you think would win in a fight, Wolverine or Spider-Man, and use the hashtag PopRocks, RHOCKS.
Is anyone actually going to choose Spider-Man?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I knew Matt would, yeah.
Because Wolverine's dead.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, because that hasn't been posted on everything for the last 6 months.
Final thoughts. Let's start all the way at the left with Turo.
Yay! If you have a new iPhone or iPhone 6, put a case on it, please. You do not want it curved. Unless you want one of those fancy curved screens, then go for it.
One of them should have put a case on it.
Yeah. So I immediately bought a case. It's a super thin one, but it keeps its form, and it's all silver and pretty in the back, and I'm very happy with it. And I have not seen any curvature or bend, and it's been in my back pocket whenever I work. Whenever I'm not working, it's in my front and back. It just switches back and forth, and there's no.
That's what she said.
And hello. And there's no bending or anything. I haven't seen of it. So.
And I'm sure you do wear skinny jeans, so that.
Don't just stop doing that. Don't wear skinny jeans anymore. This is the 6. This is the 6 Plus, and again, no curvature, no bending, no anything, because I think there might be because of the case, but honestly, I don't know. Just don't do that. Just don't skinny jean.
Did she just say Xbox off?
No, she said X bone unsnap.
Oh, okay. All right. Just checking.
Jerk.
Kate, final thoughts.
I guess I'll play some more Destiny and find out how far I can get without the help of anyone else. Go on my own little rogue journey.
Rogue's
if anyone wants to comment that they like seeing my Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate pictures, I can go bi-weekly, but only if people say they like it. So, sound off on the website. Traffic!
And Matt, final thoughts.
I'm going to be reading a lot the next couple of weeks, so my Destiny time's probably going to drop off. But I'm really in the throes of trying to decide whether to get Infinity 2.0. So that's the big decision for the next couple of weeks: is do I or don't I get 2.0?
Do it.
I really want to, but I am not going to.
Don't do it.
I will say they do have the ability to bring select characters into other toy box sets. I did find this out. What happens is you collect these things in the campaigns called crossover coins, and if you get 10 of them, that enables you to cross over specific characters. Like, for example, Rocket can come from the Guardians of the Galaxies into the Avengers playset, and Nova can come from the Spider-Man set into the Avengers playset. I think Spider-Man can too.
I think so.
Yeah. So there's certain characters that can cross over once you unlock these crossover coins. I still think it's a stupid mechanic, but at least it's progress.
Yeah. And you know they can patch that later to just open it up or maybe make it less restrictive, maybe one coin or 2 coins.
Now that
instead of
there's
10.
now there's actually a mechanic to do it. I don't see why they couldn't. So
Yeah. So and I got the kids. I mean, the kids love those games. They love the Skylanders. They love Disney, even with all its flaws. Disney Infinity. So.
my final notes. I went to the Huffington Post to look for weird news, and I found interesting.
That didn't take long.
Yeah, no, it didn't take long. It escalated quickly. So I do not personally condone or endorse any kind of self-medication, if that's the way to go. But I did find it interesting that there is now a medical marijuana pizza sauce. Someone actually thought to just skip the middleman and go straight to the munchies at the end.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so
That's a great idea, actually.
It's right now it's only sold in the dispensaries in the states where it's legal. So you can't.
I wonder if it's here because we have legal.
Yeah, I don't know. You can look at any medical marijuana dispensary.
It would remove the stigma of sitting there smoking it for medicinal reasons.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny because to me it just seems like the pizza industry's gone to pot.
Oh man, my glaucoma's acting up. I need to get some pizza.
Until next week, game on.
Game on.
Game on.